Welcome back to another episode of Two Dicks Exposed. I'm your host, not Pat.
And I'm your other host, not Mike. And today we are joined by our friend in the corner again.
Hello.
I don't remember your name. Special
Mutual
special
friend
guest.
is what
Our
I ended
mutual
up getting.
friend.
Mutual friend.
Mutual friend.
Yeah.
Wow, we gotta
Yeah.
commit to these
MF.
things eventually.
MF.
MF, there we go.
I like this MFer in the corner. And so if he's back, you know what that means. We're back on to superheroes. And considering we didn't talk anything about Marvel last time except for the really bad stuff in Phase 4, now we're going to give you the good stuff.
Hold up. What about Flufferman? How dare you
Orange
forget-
Joe.
Who's Flufferman?
Flufferman.
Is Flufferman our favored fourth mic?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
His name's Orange Joe.
Orange
Or
Joe.
Orange Joe.
I can't.
Our
like,
mutual friend
we
gave me
can't-
a name.
We
and
can't like skip out of it.
Oh, or if anyone's following us, Youngster Dan.
this is a good time to
Youngster.
plug our TikTok.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't seen it yet, please. We need all the subscribers we can get.
Yeah. By the time this video comes out, we might still be sitting at 499 followers.
599.
599 followers. You could be our
You
lucky
could be the
600.
lucky one.
We've been sitting at 599 for about 2 days now, and it's I'm starting to get the shakes. I'm starting to get the shakes.
So Iron Man was definitely. It's funny because like you got to bring that up because like those movies like no
Wasn't
one
it-
knows any of the ones.
Johnny Depp, wasn't he originally slated to be Tony
Tom
Stark?
Cruise was the...
Tom Cruise.
Was it Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was like some other
and
big
Stan Lee
famous guy.
said, if it's not RDJ, then I don't want the movies being made.
There's still talk
yeah.
of Tom Cruise showing up as Iron Man
Yeah.
in like an ultimate iteration or one of the multiverse.
I feel like if he
versions.
wasn't in
Stanley-
the Doctor Strange movie, he's not going to.
He's also just really expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
Stanley
Yeah.
has gone on record saying that if it wasn't RDJ, then he wasn't going to sign off on the Iron Man movie.
See, I
That's
thought I
the best
heard
part.
that Robert Downey Jr. basically came in and like begged for the job and was like, "I'll do it for nothing," because he was like straight out of rehab at the point and was like, "I need something to kick my career off again."
I
Well,
think that's why.
the original creator also really wanted Timothy Olyphant of like...
Oh, I do love him.
Deadwood. Me too. I think that he's wrong for that role, but I would love for them to bring him into
Yeah,
Marvel as something
it's
else.
something.
Honestly,
in
he'd make
Marvel.
a good Reed. An older Reed.
Yeah,
but
but
he'd
they
make a
want
good
young
Reed.
is the problem
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
That's why it's not Krasinski.
Dumb.
Has
Dog.
to be Krasinski.
I actually like that. I think that Corin Sweat dude who's playing Superman would have actually been a good read too.
Yeah.
Or
It's a shame
however
they
the
got
fuck you say
that,
his
that
name.
non-compete
is this
thing
how-
going on.
Is this how they bring Henry Cavill into it? Because I could see him being.
No, we were talking about that earlier. We were like, we
He's too.
would
buff.
love him to be in the MCU,
He's too
but he's
buff.
too buff and too
buff.
good looking.
Yep.
Like
See,
I
if-
want to be attracted to Reed in like a
Nerdy.
nerdy kind of
Yeah.
way. Like I love your brain. Henry Cavill, like I'll just be like, I love your body,
Yeah.
and that's
That's
Just make him be
it's like
Doom.
Edward Norton as
Let Henry Cavill play Doom.
Bruce Banner.
You know who would be a good Reed? The guy from Stranger Things, the guitar dude.
Eddie.
Eddie would be
still
good.
need to
Oh,
watch
I
that
would
show.
fuck with
Eddie would
Eddie.
be good.
I would fuck with Eddie.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Iron Man was the movie that kicked it all off, and we can all agree that it was a fantastic movie.
It was Iron Man, and it was Lucky. What's his real name?
Hmm?
He plays Lucky. That's his name, right? In Iron Man, his assistant.
Captain Rhodey?
No.
Oh no.
Oh, Happy.
Happy.
Lucky.
John Favreau.
John Favreau. John Favreau was also.
Happy in
He
the
was
first
like.
movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he was
I mean,
also in
doesn't
the.
Happy direct the first movie? Or
He directs the
produce
first
Yeah,
movie.
but like, I'm trying to remember.
And he also played
in the first
Foggy
movie, he was really
in-
just like his doorman for the car.
Right,
and
it was
things
like a
that.
very minor
Because
thing.
He gave him like the Burger King after he got out of like the cave and
Yeah,
stuff like
because
that.
like in the second
Yeah.
movie, he's in it, like he's there.
The second movie is Buns, though.
The third movie is
Yeah.
Buns, though.
The-
I like the third more than I like the second movie.
Really?
But did you like it? You can like one more than the other. It doesn't mean it's good.
Oh no, neither of them are particularly great, but there's elements of three I like.
Ooh,
Two
I like the
only
first
exist
half an
to
hour of
transition
3
into
more than
the
any
Avengers,
other.
and
I have
that's
to
it.
bring this up real quick, and it's nothing to do with this, but I was thinking about Galactus.
Okay, at least it's Marvel.
All right.
Yep, that could be Henry Cavill.
And-
We don't need to hear about your 2 a.m. time.
No, I'm thinking about the fact that like how the Eternals movie was terrible. We talked about this in our last episode, right?
Yeah.
But yo, the way they did the like
The
the
Centennials.
Celestials,
I thought it was.
it was
The
fantastic,
millennials.
right? Like that alone made like that redeems because I'm like at least we'll know that if they ever do Galactus,
Right.
he's gonna look fucking cool.
Well,
as
and
shit.
using the giant thing, Fenrir, is that what it's?
Fenrir.
Using that as like the excuse to bring adamantium into the world is kind of cool
Yeah.
too.
So like
Marvel
I
has
just,
done an amazing job at bringing like fantasy to life. Like
Yeah.
whether it's the, the Sentinels or what, I'm gonna keep calling them
Celestials.
Celestials. Whether it's them or it's Fenrir from like Ragnarok, like the
Yeah.
giant wolf, like that seemed normal, like it fit there.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, just like all that weird shit, like it just seems natural in the
Yeah.
MCU as opposed to
I mean-
like DC where they could just be like,
All the weird.
yeah, we're gonna have fun, and then all of a sudden alien invasion. It's
Yeah.
like, well, this doesn't really tie in anything.
So, I had to touch on that just for a second because like it dawned on me that like I was thinking about like the bad movies and stuff like that, and I was just like, you know what though, those Celestials, like when the hand was coming out and everything, I'm like, yeah, dude, Galactus is gonna look fucking tight as shit when they finally like do him.
I mean, talking about it, like that Fan 4 movie, Silver Surfer was dope though. Like I feel like
voice
everything
actor's
out
really
about
good. I
like the
can't remember
original
his name.
Fan 4, like Doom was campy, but I feel like some villains campy is needed.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
need them to look like their characters. The only complaint I had about those movies was really just like the second movie was kind of buns, like you were gonna say, and Galactus is a storm cloud, but everything else is
Yeah,
spot
like-
on.
I did like the guy that played Doom in that.
Yeah.
I actually
He
enjoyed
was the
the
guy
original
from like
cast.
Nip Tuck. I can't remember what.
Yeah,
his
the
name
Nip Tuck
is, but
guy.
Yeah.
He's also in
Yeah.
Runaways.
They,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of all those movies, though, what's your favorite Phase 1?
Iron Man.
Oh, Iron Man.
Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta go First Avenger. I loved First Avenger.
No.
Like, Iron Man was great.
Oh,
but-
you mean like the literal Avengers?
The Avengers.
Because like Captain America is called Captain America: The First,
First
Avenger, right?
oh, yes.
You're talking about the Avengers.
No, well, the Avengers is, well, I guess technically.
So your favorite movie in Phase 1 is
My favorite
Captain
movie in
America.
Phase 1 is Captain America, the First Avenger.
Okay, not the first Avengers.
Yes. Not the Avengers. Not the Avengers that came out first.
If the Avenger,
Yes.
sorry, clusterfuck.
This is literally the Who's on First skit right now. That is 1000% what's happening. This is the Who's on First. The first Avengers.
This
I'm
episode.
talking about Captain America. Yeah, the first Avenger. Not the first Avenger movie. We got him.
Yeah, we got
All right.
No, that movie's good. I like all of the originals, like the number one movies of basically all of them. I think they're all pretty good.
I think one thing that
I think two
Phase,
is where a lot
yeah.
of them went bad.
Phase
Yeah.
1 did a really good job at like we have to get the villain right the first time. Like I think Captain America's like, okay,
Red Skull was
Red Skull,
awesome.
perfect.
Yeah.
Iron Man, I can't remember what the villain's name is.
It was just
War
the-
Machine.
Obadiah Stone,
Obadiah Stone.
Yeah.
Stern.
Yeah.
Stern.
I think it's Stern.
But like that has a name, right? Like
It
the
could be.
Iron Man, like Goliath has like, a name.
Ironmonger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
And then like Thor, you have Loki. So like I think they really got everything right the first time.
And the Hulk had
Abomination.
Sebastian.
Abomination.
Abomination.
Yeah, which is still in everything.
Yeah. So
His part in She-Hulk is pretty fun.
yeah. Yeah.
Then we.
Then we go Phase 2 where they just kind of shit the bed.
Yeah, Phase 2. Well,
Well,
hold up now.
all
Hold
right.
up.
So before we
The
get
wor-
into it, here's what Phase 2 is for all of our listeners. We got Iron Man 3. We got Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man.
yeah.
So
That
I
is
don't
what
know.
we're
Say
considering
shit the
Phase 2.
bed,
I think
and
that's 50-50.
honestly,
like
my
Winter
yeah.
Soldier might be the best movie
It's
they've
the
ever made.
best movie.
That-
in the
that's
whole
fair.
franchise.
And
Guardians
Guardians-
is
Guardians
also
1
top
was great.
that they've ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Iron Man 3, anything past the first half hour was
The Winter Soldier is
Trash.
still probably my favorite movie. Like I still love watching that movie. Just
I mean,
right
people
now.
who don't care about Marvel like that one because it's just
It's
a good,
so
good movie.
film.
I think I just have such a bad taste in my mouth because Age of Ultron is like
It's shit.
how they ended it, and that was just not good.
I
And
didn't
I don't
hate-
know if it wasn't good because it was built up so
Check
much,
the
and I had
TikTok.
so
We-
much.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just reiterating.
I know.
I'm
I'm
reiterating.
telling the rest of the like. Check it. We had this conversation.
I don't
Like,
think Age of Ultron's terrible though.
I
I just think it was kind of like one of those
They could have done
copy
better.
paste the first movie.
Yeah.
Like we've already seen this. It's not exciting that you put them all together.
They just
again.
lost
Right.
momentum. They're like, we have everything. We're going up a track, and then let's just play it safe. It
I,
just
Well,
wasn't
like-
good.
I think Age of Ultron is the first time they tried to just milk it for money.
It's also when they did the stupid. They tried to bring in the Black Widow and Hulk like love affair. Remember?
Yeah.
Which is
The
even
sun
more
is
The
upsetting.
sun's going down,
The
big
sun's
boy.
going down, big boy. Come on, big boy. The sun's going down.
Hey, it's getting dark out here.
It's getting dark out there.
Touch my hand in your
I
hand.
probably would have calmed me down more if Scarlett Johansson was talking to me that way instead of like her normal like the sun's going down. Like
Who tried to
I
do
think it
that
would've been
later
better
on?
if they just stuck with her and Cap being more of a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a desperation move, I think, because
It
she was
was-
pregnant and couldn't do the action scenes.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
the
that was a
only
thing.
They were like,
I
let's
remember
just.
there was like a bunch.
They
of
probably should have just
blowback.
cut her out and said she was doing something
Yeah.
in the background. And
My
just had her show
favorite
up later.
about that whole movie franchise is that there was a bunch of people that were like blasting Marvel because there's multiple moments in the movie where they had to use like CGI editing to like get rid of her baby bump, and they're like, "How dare they get rid of her baby bump?" And I'm like,
She's not pregnant.
"She's not pregnant. The character's not pregnant." Like,
Yeah. They
what-
should have just not had her in that film.
Yeah, she shouldn't have. Just
Yeah.
They
That
turned
could have
her
been
into
when
a
they
weak
did
point,
the-
which is really stupid.
the
Like
split
she
off
gets
Black
kidnapped,
Widow.
and that's her whole story. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about like one of the best
Honestly,
agents
the Black
ever,
Widow movie could
and
have
she just
taken
gets
place
captured,
somewhere.
and that's her entire. She can't get out of a cell.
think Black Widow takes place after
Ridiculous.
Civil War,
It
I
does
think.
make
Yeah.
sense to
Yeah,
some
but they
people,
could have just said Black Widow takes place during Age of Ultron.
I think one
And-
thing they should have done, which I don't know why they changed the story, was Ant-Man should have made Ultron. I'm
Oh, you know
firm
what, though?
believer because where the MCU is right
Hold
now,
up.
it has no stakes.
It
I-
allows them to do that again though, and a Hank Pym Ant-Man or Ultron has great potential. I
Well, what
think.
was like?
I-
What was the cartoon that came out? It was like Avengers, like
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
That
Fantastic.
Ultron season was phenomenal,
Yes.
and it makes you hate Ant-Man more than anyone.
Yes.
And I want Paul Rudd to be able to act. So I,
I
hate
love
Paul
all
Rudd.
3 seasons of
Like,
that show.
'cause I know he can
That-
do it.
That is such a great. Like
Oh, that show is incredible.
why did they cancel it, Disney? You are dumb.
Even the switch to the other one wasn't terrible, but it was nothing
No,
compared.
no. Earth's Mightiest Hero. It was.
Yeah, they should just kept that running because that was.
It was. It was like a callback to almost like the X-Men Evolution. Like,
It felt like a
era.
hubris move. Like they took
Yeah.
over and they were like, "We want our properties. We don't want
Right.
to work with your properties."
Also, I'm gonna probably be the hot take here, but I actually like the first Ant-Man movie.
I don't
Oh,
think that's a hot take.
absolutely.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not like
Well, because
iconic, but it's a good movie. It's
we
fun.
skipped over it when we were talking about like the good movies that did come out of Phase 2, and I was like, wait, but Ant-Man's there too.
Well,
That's good.
speaking of skipping over, we finished Phase 1 without talking about probably the most successful and popular movie of Phase 1, the
What?
original Avengers
The
movie.
original
Oh,
Avengers.
yeah.
The only way we referred to it is the who's on first situation.
Yeah, I guess we could touch on like the biggest movie of the time. Yeah, like, that would
Still-
make sense.
It kind of like
Was
made it a thing. Like that's where everyone was like, "Holy shit, crossovers can happen in movies."
That was like the
It's not really the first, but it's like feels like
Was
it.
It's
that
like
really
the first
the-
successful.
Yeah.
Like
the meme started where it's like this is the biggest like
Crossover.
crossover in history and stuff like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it
Like
is.
where that meme whole thing.
Oh yeah,
got its
like,
kick.
Yeah.
Scooby Natural and all the
yeah,
other
like all
fun
the other
crossovers
yeah.
that occurred afterwards.
It's funny though because they were. I remember them like when people were talking about that like as like the big thing like oh my god like never before has there been a movie where like you had all these big names all in one theater like one thing before, and I'm like but Mars Attacks exists.
yeah, movie 43 exists.
Yeah, like there are a lot of it's like bro, chill out, Marvel fans. There were other movies that existed.
Ooh.
Yeah, but they never brought a bunch of movies together like that.
No.
No.
I think it's more like
Also,
the
Mars
Starks.
Attacks is great, but you're not talking about A-list celebrities. You're
No,
talking
no.
about B and C-list celebrities.
I have a
That is not on the same level as Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, and every other person who's
RDJ,
in-
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I guess Scarlett Johansson definitely, but like a lot of them in the first Avengers movies, RDJ was not that big of a name before the
By
Avengers.
Avengers. he
By
was,
Avengers,
though.
By
he was.
Avengers, he was.
And
yes.
he had been big before. He just
But
collapsed his
have
He
you
was
heard
big in
about
the
Chris
80s,
Evans?
and then-
Chris Evans was pretty big at that point.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Like,
because
I
he was
know
the Human
was
Torch.
in,
Yeah, he had already done Human
Oh,
Torch.
And he was in Not Another Teen Movie, which
yeah, he was in not a movie. I
And
always
Scott
forget
Pilgrim.
that he's
and Scott
in-
Pilgrim. I think he did Broadway
And
stuff.
The Losers.
I know he does now, but
I
and
think
The Losers.
Chris Evans
yeah.
is in like 5 different comic book related.
I think it's like
Actually,
him and Ryan Reynolds that are fighting for like the most comic book roles.
It's
Yeah.
funny that the only movie that I remember him from is from Not Another Teen Movie, but like all these other comic book movies you guys mentioned, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I didn't like them.
It's like,
I didn't
forgot
like
about that,
Fantastic
forgot about that.
Four. I didn't like Scott Pilgrim versus or Saves the World.
All right,
whatever
well, you
it's
can
called.
just not talk the rest of the episode.
Oh,
then.
dude, I cannot stand that.
That movie is
series.
amazing.
No, it's bad.
You're
and
wrong.
the Netflix show is going to be amazing.
Who is it? The same cast or
Yeah, it's going to be animated like the I guess the
Like the
graphic
comic?
novel, the
or-
comic.
yeah, I guess
It's going to be
Alright.
animated like that, but they got all the voice actors to come
To-
back.
Oh, that's
To
great.
clear up my statement, I hate the actor who plays the main character.
You leave Michael Cera alone.
Michael,
I
no,
do
he
not like Michael
plays
Cera.
Scott though.
I just
You're not supposed to like
Y-
Scott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael
Scott's a
Cera is the
growing
guy that
character.
accidentally wandered onto a movie
Yeah.
set one day, and they said, "All right, get in there, get in action." He's
This
just
is
like,
another
"What?"
one of those like I say that I don't like an actor that's going to be made into a reel, and people are going to like bomb me for like not liking them.
I
No,
hope
there's
so.
a lot of people who don't like Michael
Yeah.
Cera.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Have you guys watched the new Black Mirror? Not to get off track again, because like we've been on track.
Look, if
We'll talk
we
about that
combine
later.
The 15 minutes of this that's talking about the right stuff with the 15
You made it
minutes of
from
the
the
last
last
one.
thing, right?
To
We'll
get
have a
back
full
onto
episode.
Avengers, though, I have a question for you guys because you've seen a lot of more of the extended stuff than I have.
Mhm.
Coulson. So Coulson dies in Avengers, comes back for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Does he ever come back to anything related to the MCU?
Nope. That's
Nope.
a lot of the hope was with Secret Invasion was that they would
Yes.
finally include all of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. But
Some
We'll
re-
see.
Yeah, yeah.
it hasn't happened yet. I mean, I think, spoiler alert, I think Mariah shows up in the end of the first episode of Secret Invasion.
I need to actually.
Mariah Hill.
I
Okay.
need to sit down and just actually like watch all the MCU shows. I've discussed this multiple times. Like waiting for my fiance to watch anything with me is impossible.
Ooh, roasted on
Yeah, I
live.
will put her on. She doesn't listen to this. I can insult her all I want. She
Wow,
she doesn't support the
disrespected.
podcast.
And there's our short. That's what's getting posted.
Oh no, she'll see the TikTok.
So that it needs to be a
Exactly.
TikTok. You did this.
We got that,
yourself.
Dan? We got that?
Not posted. DM.
Direct message.
Sent to her. Every last one of you is just gonna be like, ew, did you see Mike blast you?
Just shitting on his.
I will
his
tell
new
her to watch
fiance.
the episode, even if it isn't cut. This is the one you should check out.
Yeah.
The worst part is we can say, "Hey, Josie's in this one."
This is how we
And she'll go,
finally
"Oh,
get
I'll watch
another
it."
fan. I'm for it.
That's fair.
Or
And that fan
600th
being my
follower.
fiance.
Oh shit!
So the Marvel.
All right, so
The
Avengers
first
was
Avengers-
awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was awesome.
It's where we got like truly Loki, like as a villain.
And the great puny god line.
oh my god,
Yeah.
I still remember sitting in the theater and having him like yelling, and then the Hulk coming out of nowhere and just grabbing him, just like boom, boom. Like
Mhm.
that was the greatest thing
Dude,
ever.
Oh, I laughed out loud in theaters.
So,
It was so
dude, I
good.
was
Iconic.
dying.
So I saw this interview with Tom Hiddleston too, and he was just like, to get the most sincere reaction, he was like, they actually scripted my entire speech, and they just had a rug underneath of him that they would randomly pull out to show him falling, and he was like, and they changed when they pulled the rug out every single like time we recorded it.
Really?
So he's like, I never knew when it was. So he's like, I always had like that fear in the back of my head. So
Oh, I love
that
him,
is so
man.
great. Oh, he's such a great actor too.
He's been a great villain, a great,
great-
hero, a great,
Great
anti-hero,
anti-hero. Yeah.
a great just side character.
yeah, I
I
mean,
cannot
not to
wait
jump
for
ahead,
season
but like in End Game when they killed him, I guess spoiler alert.
That's not a spoiler.
Yeah,
It's been-
it's been out for a while, but I was like,
the show Loki doesn't.
it's like fuck. I think he's actually dead.
Yeah.
Like when that happened. And then-
theoretically, but like if
Yeah.
you watch Loki, the old Loki could be his story. arc.
Right. So who knows? I mean, he's like died in every single movie he's been in. So
I mean, yeah.
all right. So we're done with Phase 1.
I think we're done with phase
Yeah,
one.
okay.
Avengers
that's
was
it.
fantastic.
And-
Loki got smashed around a bunch.
Phase 2. Yeah, I guess we got some stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
well-
Okay, so Winter Soldier, best movie.
Oh, dude,
Iconic.
hands down. I love Winter Soldier because like throughout the whole movie, it's a Disney movie, right? It's PG-13. Right.
Murder.
Straight up, there's so many times where like your dude's murdered. That was murdered. He's dead. That dude's dead. That dude. You never see anyone.
You must
die.
have been the worst guy in the movie theater.
Like I wasn't like,
Dead.
He's
Just
dead.
watching
That
it.
dude's dead.
Fucking dead.
It's like,
Sorry, I got animated.
but like you think about it, like because it's a Disney movie, they can't show people dying in it, right?
Right.
So like, there's a scene where like he kicks someone into a turbine, and you're like, that dude's dead. There's the one where he picks up a grenade and throws it into a jet that's like closing its door hangers, and like, it explodes. I'm like, they're all dead. It's like so many people died in that movie.
I mean, they had a helicarrier fall on New York.
yeah,
Like,
it's like
No
at
one died
least
there.
one died
one.
there.
Not a person died in that. It's crazy.
dude, it is insane.
There was a festival on the other side of New York, and
Oh,
everyone
I
went.
gotcha.
yeah,
I gotcha. Yeah, it was during COVID. Everyone was
Yeah,
out of the
everybody
city.
was home
indoors and died.
Everyone was in their house then.
So cool thing about that too, and I might be wrong, but I remember hearing it and it stuck in my head. The fight director for that also did the Daredevil Netflix show.
Mm.
The like that long fight scene where he was
hallway
in
fight.
the hallway in the
Yeah,
jail.
I think.
Yeah.
I think
The
that's
hallway
true.
is still probably my favorite
Such a
fight
great
scene
scene.
in anything Marvel.
Yeah.
That series was just
Seasons
Ugh.
1 and 2 are fantastic.
I do love 1, and I love most of 2.
Yeah.
2's got kind of a boring period in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, anytime Frank's not involved, it's a little dull.
It's yeah.
that's fair.
But
yeah.
the fact that he is actually in the MCU now, which means the Punisher's in the MCU, which means
Yeah, I think they did confirm him for the new
Yeah.
Daredevil series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Spoiler.
Thank you.
You know what's crazy to think too? So like Sebastian Stan at this point, he's kind of like a no name. Like he was in that
Almost everybody in the Marvel.
that Disney or not Disney villain that I guess it was Disney villain live action show where the girl gets trapped in the town. I don't know. He played the Mad Hatter in it. What was that show called?
I no idea what you're talking about.
Once Upon a Time. Sebastian Stan was in that, and he played the
was
Mad
a
Hatter.
show.
Yeah, and
That
like
was
that
real
was the
good in
only
that, though.
thing
Damn,
I
that
knew
was
him from at that point.
That is a pull.
I mean, the only
Thanks.
thing I had seen him in was Gossip Girl, so I'm not any better than you.
Right. So
I had no idea who he was until he put. I didn't know who he was until he put on the arm.
So that was a big thing, and then that's where we meet Sharon Carter. That's her first appearance, right?
It's
Yeah.
also where we meet the Falcon.
And the Falcon,
Yep.
yeah, and we
Oh
get
my
the
God.
sweet on your
The
left
on your
scene.
left, yes.
I heard that he tried out for or asked to play Black Panther originally.
And
Until he
oh,
got
shit,
the role.
okay.
Like before they were even like discussing Black Panther fully. They were like
Wow.
I mean,
wanting to do that role, and then they got the Falcon role.
I would have been okay with that if Chadwick Boseman wasn't on the table,
Oh,
Chadwick Boseman.
because I mean he,
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace.
yeah, but like
R.I.P.
if he wasn't on the table, I'd be okay with Anthony Mackie.
I
jumping
like
on that.
Mackie. He's in
I like
that
Mackie.
off subject, but we can go right back. He's gonna be in the Twisted Metal series that they're making, and it
Yeah.
looks real fun.
Oh shit!
Oh, dude, who they said something about who might be Sweet Tooth.
No, it's who is Sweet Tooth. I can't remember who's voicing him, but he's being played by Samoa Joe, like the wrestler. His body is Samoa Joe, and it's great.
That's
Once
And the
again,
voice
I'm
act-
telling you,
The voice actor is Will
should
Arnett.
be Jack Black.
It's Will Arnett.
Yes.
Will Arnett's the voice of
Sweet Tooth.
Yes.
Yeah, he's played by Samoa Joe, but he is voiced by Will Arnett.
I can't wait for that show.
It's gonna be a lot
I
of
can't
fun.
wait.
Um,
I love Twisted Metal.
Should be Jack Black. Everything should be Jack Black.
So I guess we can move on to Phase 3.
no,
No,
we need to talk about Guardians.
we gotta talk about Guardians.
Oh yeah.
Guardians for me was like amazing because I had no idea who they were,
Zero
and I was like,
expectations.
all right, it's a Marvel movie, so I have to see it.
This is one of those one times where like I actually did know an actor before
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, yeah. Because
Yeah.
Well, and you knew Karen Gillan.
Parks and Rec. Yeah,
Oh,
I knew.
yeah,
we knew Karen Gillan
literally
from
talked about
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
And then, I mean, Bradley Cooper, we knew from
A lot.
The Hangover, pretty much.
And Vin Diesel. Actually, this is probably one of the biggest casts
this
to
is-
start.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, Drax is Batista,
And then
big
Dave-
deal wrestler
yeah.
guy.
Zoe Saldana, or
Oh, and
Saldana,
she's
or whatever.
Avatar.
She was in
Yeah,
Avatar.
Avatar.
The
so
biggest movie
the
of all
biggest
time.
movie prior to Avengers.
It
Yeah.
still is the biggest.
It's-
Is it still? I thought
Money
Avengers beat
wise, it is
Oh,
the
okay.
biggest. It's been re-released like 3 times,
It's
so
That's fair.
those numbers really don't matter.
Don't matter.
honestly.
There's a massive conspiracy involving another country and using it as propaganda, which is why they re-released it to keep it ahead of Avengers End Game.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll tell you two afterwards.
Okay, cool.
I think Titanic is still number 2 all time.
Well, you have to take in inflation, too.
It,
Because, I mean,
it's
that movie
Endgame.
came out in 1912. and it's
Titanic
been-
got beat by
I think it got beat in some numbers, but I believe Titanic is still number 2 overall.
They
We were literally
re-released
just
that, like,
looking at
3
these
times,
lists
too.
like last
Like-
week.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Um,
But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxies was like the huge underdog for me.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
No, I went into it like, well, I don't care what they do because I don't know the storyline.
No, yeah.
I never
Yeah.
read like Marvel space stuff. It always kind of,
Yeah.
other than Thanos, I was like, I don't.
And I think out of all of this, like individual movies, Guardians and like probably Captain America are my only trilogies that I've enjoyed all the way through.
Are we not including Spider-Man because I like all 3 Spider-Man? Like,
Oh yeah, shit. There is 3 Spider-Man. now.
it's Sony,
Yeah.
so it's 50-50.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll include Spider-Man because Tom Holland, obviously.
No,
but-
they did a list of the best trilogies that have happened, and they didn't even include Ant-Man, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But they were a lot of people kept saying Iron Man. I was like, look, I get that 1 is great, but the other 2 are not.
No.
No.
I don't even hate 3, but like the other 2 are just not great. You can't call it a best trilogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I preferred War Machine in Iron Man 1 over the movie he was actually in.
Yeah.
Like just that tiny scene where I can't remember the actor who played
Terrence
him.
Howard.
Terrence Howard,
He's
where he looked back at
iconic.
it and was like, "Next time." Like I enjoyed that
Yeah.
more than
Well,
any scene with
he
War
just
Machine.
cost too much money, so
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a bummer. But
He was asking for RDJ number money.
Yeah,
I think it was actually more at the
It
time.
was more.
He was
yeah.
a bigger
well, he
actor
was
at
the
the
bigger
time.
actor at the time. Yeah.
He still is a very big actor, though. He's on that show like Power, I think, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something else we can talk about too, because like,
not that Power.
Well,
I know
no.
what you're talking about, right?
no, well, I was going to talk about like RDJ. He ended up being like one of the cheaper actors like in all of this stuff, and then I think by the end of Phase 2, the rest of the actors were like ready to go on strike just to make equal pay to Robert Downey Jr. Because I think he was like
worth.
4 times more than like
all of
Chris
them by the
Evans,
end of
who is like the
franchise.
next in
He
line.
is the face of the franchise.
And then I think like even Scarlett Johansson compared to him
I-
was like 5% of what he was making or
I-
something. Like she was ridiculously low.
I honestly think that you could keep Chris Evans. Like, if Chris Evans didn't retire as Captain America, I think you could literally keep Chris Evans in the MCU currently, and it would still have the same effect on everyone watching the MCU now. Because, like, truly, RDJ was the face of the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
Like, without, like, everyone who thinks that, like, oh, I'm helping keeping the MCU up, it's like, no, RDJ kept it up, and you all were all just following.
Because
his
the thing
coattails.
is,
now it's Tom Holland.
I do
he
think
was
Tom
Iron
and
Man
Chadwick-
off screen
Yes.
too. Like
1000%.
Yeah.
He
never stopped being Tony Stark.
Yeah, he was Tony Stark.
I mean, all of the comic iterations of Iron Man
Yes.
Or now
look
him.
like RDJ.
Right. Well,
Iron
same thing
Man-
with Samuel L. Jackson as Nick
Mhm.
Fury. Pretty much they've all been rewritten
Yep.
to be
Well,
Sam
isn't that
Jackson.
another like Don Glover situation where the creation of Ultimate Nick?
Yeah,
was
Ultimate
based on
Nick was
Sam.
based on
Yep.
Sam Jackson. He then read the Ultimate and was like, I need to play this guy.
Yeah, and was
And-
like, put
yeah.
me in the universe, and they were like, all right, we're gonna use Ultimate Nick.
Right. If
instead.
Sam Jackson comes to me and says, I want to be in your movie, you don't say no. Like,
Can I ask for a cameo that I'm not gonna get, and bring in the old Nick Fury just for like a cameo of David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury from like the 90s or 80s?
Oh my
film?
god.
It would
Oh my
bring.
God.
He walks around smoking that big ass cigar.
the multiverse exists, man.
Can the
Anything's
Thunderbolts
That is
possible.
the cameo that I want.
Isn't the Thunderbolts going to be a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean we could possibly get original?
It would bring me a lot of joy.
'Cause
I
it would-
love Sam Jackson. I watched that Nick Fury movie
Because they could
with
explain it
David
away
Hasselhoff,
as-
and it's so much fun. It's so corny, but like peak 90s Marvel.
They could explain it away as like it's like a 007 situation where you're given a name.
Oh, you just get
because
the
you are-
handle
yeah,
of Fury.
Like everyone got upset when the new No Time to Die movie had a female 007, and I literally had to like remind people it's like, no, her
That's a-
number is 007. She is not James Bond. James
Mm-hmm.
Bond is still James Bond. And it was
Well,
like
and
a
you
whole
know that
thing.
because Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig are in the same universe.
Yeah.
Because like his M
M is the same.
His M is
yep.
the same actress.
Yeah. So when Pierce Brosnan eventually retired or died or whatever happened off script, eventually Daniel Craig took over the moniker of James Bond because he was an orphan in 007. The 007 episode is coming eventually. We are going to do one.
I'll need to like watch
I-
them.
Own 'em all.
Isn't Daniel Craig also signed to Marvel? Didn't that come
He-
out?
Did sign,
That'd be
but we
cool.
don't know who he signed as.
Some people were saying Doom for that.
Who else is there? There. Oh, he would be good as
He
Doom.
would be a great dude.
He'd be great as Doom. So we got Doom and Cavill. Is there anyone else that's like signed up? I know they keep chasing Keanu,
Yeah, they keep chasing.
but I don't
yeah.
think they've like
No, they haven't
figured out who he
solidified.
can be yet.
I
'Cause
think he
everybody was
wants to
hoping for
play a
Craven.
small role because I don't think he wants to do.
Tied into like 20
He's
years.
already doing John Wick for the next 100 years,
right.
Yeah.
so I don't think he wants to be in forever. So he'd probably get like a bit villain role.
Like Miley
Yeah.
Cyrus and Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
hmm
Who else do they have left from Community to bring in?
Everyone technically is in since the Sony versus added in.
Okay.
Since
they bought Fox.
since they bought Fox and they had the tie-in the no
Oh, he's a side character.
he is a side. Joe McHale was in the Spider-Man series.
Was he?
He was in the first 3 Spider-Man. I forget which one he's in, but Joe McHale was in the first 3.
Why do I feel like he just worked at like the Daily Planet or something?
I
He's just a
can't remember
background
what
character.
he did, but he was in. I remember he was in. One
Hey,
of the first
research
Yeah.
team. Does someone want to tell
Orange Joe.
us who Joel McHale was?
because, and then who else?
What's his name? Danny
I can't remember.
Patel? Is
He
that
was
his name?
Danny
He-
Putty?
Yeah,
was
he
the-
was a Shield agent. He was one
Shield
of the,
agent.
He was playing like Galaga or something like that. And then obviously,
The principal
Nicole
plays the
Yvette
principal.
Was,
yeah, the principal plays
She
him.
was the one that
Um,
called the security on Captain America, and no, was it Captain?
Oh,
America?
Yvette? Yeah.
Yeah, she was in the past
the
with.
Dean Pelton was the one that had the hot dog idea with RDJ
Mhm.
and the MIT.
He's a dean.
At MIT, yeah.
He's a dean.
And then obviously Donald Glover,
Donald Glover.
played
So I think
Prowler
Joel
guy.
McHale is the bank teller that wouldn't give Aunt May the loan or the toaster.
So he was an
Yeah.
asshole.
Okay,
He's
so
an
he was the
asshole.
asshole.
Perfect.
so
Joel.
it's Joel McHale.
So then the only person left is Annie. She could
Annie.
be. She's kind of big now.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
she's in that wrestling show. Glow.
Yeah, Glow.
And,
So Annie, Britta,
Britta.
and that old racist guy. What's his name?
we
don't want Chevy Chase.
We don't
Chevy
care.
Chase, yeah.
Can we get the his replacement, the dude from Breaking Bad?
Oh yes,
He's in the later
Oh,
seasons,
yeah.
but I'd take him way over Chevy Chase. I
And,
don't need Chevy.
Ken
Jong.
Jong.
Ken
Yeah.
Jeong is in one of the movies.
Yeah, I
I
feel like
think
he
he's
has
playing
to be.
himself, but he is in one of the movies.
He's in one of the movies.
I can't remember which one. I couldn't tell you, but I know he's in it.
I feel like I would remember him being in one.
He's in it.
Yeah.
I promise.
I
you,
feel
but
like he's
don't
also
remember
in a
who it was.
I
Spider-Man.
wonder if he's like in one of like if he's in Guardians 2.
He's a security guard in just one of the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which movie?
Avengers Endgame.
I've got to go.
I
Back
think
is he
he's
the
one
one
of the
that-
ones that like tries to stop them from taking the Tesseract or something
Yeah.
like that.
I gotta go back and watch that movie now.
I think that's like one of the coolest Easter eggs of the MCU is just finding like
Finding, yeah,
yeah.
Did you guys ever see in Guardians, or maybe it's not in Guardians? Actually, I think it's in Infinity War. But like the blue man from Arrested Development,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like in one of the containers. I never saw it, but
I didn't see it while I was watching the movie, but then I saw the stills of it and I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
"Oh, okay." Yeah, the collector had him
yeah.
in I
God,
think
love that.
Guardians
Is
2
that just
or
the
something.
one character, but he has like a bunch of blue ink all over? him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He blew
I
it.
never
He was just,
actually
like, in
watched
his
it.
I never
underwear.
actually watched
just
it,
see the
Arrested
memes,
Development. I
yeah.
just
Yeah.
One my ex.
that's an early
Was a big
Russo's
fan of that,
project,
yeah.
right? Is
Yeah.
that why that's involved?
and that's all she
That's all she
loved
wrote?
that show with a passion, and I'm like, I don't get it.
It's fine. Well, I mean, who is the main character? Of course, you don't like it.
Oh, I like him. Jason Bateman.
Oh no, the other main character, Michael. Cera.
Oh, Michael Cera. Yeah.
That's like where he got his start, I think.
So anyway, phase 2. So phase 2, we got the Winter Soldier, who
Fantastic.
fantastic. We got the introduction to Scarlet Witch, who's obviously still running the show
I
here.
love her.
Oh,
And Quicksilver, who lasted a whole movie.
now he's
But now
Kraven.
he's Craven, so
And he
there
was
we go.
already kick-ass.
and he was kick-ass. Yeah.
That's who Craven is.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta watch that trailer.
And then we got Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's
Well, yeah.
so
We didn't cover Ant-Man, but
Honestly-
Ant-Man's fun.
Ant-Man's fun. It's
You came into
yeah.
the saying that like phase 2 is meh, but like
all right. Phase 2 started off meh
because Iron Man 3 and Dark
Yeah.
World,
and Dark World. That's how you kicked it off. But then Captain America saved everyone.
and then
And
from
it-
there straight up, I mean, like Age of Ultron was bad,
I don't think it's bad. I just think it's mid.
Mid.
I think compared to what we got from Avengers 1, people
But
say
then-
it's worse than it is.
With phase 3,
Phase
we do
3
start
is
off hard.
Peak.
We do start off hard.
What
so
do we start on?
Straight
phase
off
three?
erection.
So phase 3, here's what we got
Civil War.
listed here. We got Captain America Civil War. We got the introduction of Doctor Strange. We got Guardians Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers End Game, and Spider-Man Far From Home.
There's literally
Okay, I'm
only
gonna be
one
honest,
movie out of all of this I didn't care for.
Which one?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Captain Marvel is a bad movie. It has a bad ending.
I just hate
I
Brie
think if
Larson.
she does, oh, I don't hate Brie Larson at all. I think she's written into a hard role to be
Yeah.
liked. But
It's the flashback thing that I'm just like,
I just think her punching through spaceships was a little absurd.
Yeah,
Like
I just
the
think
Kree
she's
is
like
a non-stop entity of villainy in Marvel, and they're super powered, and you're like one person can take them out because of their own
Right.
power.
I-
It's a little absurd, but everything else about it isn't really bad.
I
It's,
think
Yeah.
the bad thing between that movie and Ant-Man and the Wasp has nothing to do with actually the movie itself. It's the fact that like you just had Infinity War, and you're gonna put out
and now you're gonna
two
put out these movies. Yeah.
then Endgame. Like no one gives a fuck. Like
Yeah.
we are literally like, I don't want to go. Like that whole thing to like Blockbuster. it's the 90s. Everybody check out all this cool stuff. Or was the 80s or
I
whatever?
think if you
80s.
yeah, it was
flip,
80s. Yeah.
I think if you flip when Captain Marvel and Black Widow came out, I think both movies would have been more successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes spoiler, Black Widow's death in those movies feel more important.
Right.
Because she has a real backstory finally.
Right.
And everybody doesn't hate Brie Larson because she didn't show up and save the day in a fight
It's like
that she was introduced
Brie
a
Larson
week
just
before.
has like mad main character complex, and that's what I'm not about. Like,
Well, and she was introduced literally a month before the big fight against a big bad that's been going on for a decade.
right. And then she shows up and
And it's like everyone was waiting for the big three, the Iron Man, Thor, Cap,
and
to
instead
fight
we
him
get
together,
the-
and we get a new stranger showing up and doing as much as those three did
Yeah.
on our own. And I don't think that'd be a problem in the later half of the universe. You introduce a new, stronger character.
Everything that happens after that sequence where Cat picks up the hammer, the shield, the lightning, everything is going on,
Mhm.
right? Everything that happens after that is mid compared to that moment, right? Brie Larson shows up and she's destroying all the ships. It's like, oh, that's cool. You have like the sequence. I mean, obviously the snap is like the big thing, but like that moment, that's what this has all been building up to. I think that's like the big thing that like sucks now.
Letting Iron Man get the win was massive, though.
Yes,
there was
Iron Man getting
3
the big
points in that
W.
movie where I got legit shivers.
Oh my god, yeah,
Cap picking up the hammer,
right.
Cap standing there, and you just hearing on your left,
Yes.
and all the portals open up, and then Robert Downey Jr. going,
When-
"I am Iron Man."
When
And like those are the moments where I was just like,
when
"Fuck."
RDJ saw Tom Holland, the look on RDJ's face when Tom Holland
Oh
like
my
swung
God.
through the gates, it made my heart melt. I was just like,
That is, I don't know how they did it in like a movie,
yeah,
but that is my favorite relationship in all of the MCU.
Right.
Tom Holland and
I mean,
RDJ.
he's his Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
He's Tom
Yeah.
Holland's Uncle Ben.
he's straight up.
And he still died. Like
Yeah,
that's his backstory. That's
Phase 3. I mean, we don't have enough time to like actually go into because like look how long the actual like you
And
said.
There's
it's
a
great.
lot.
We're gonna want to
There's a
talk about
lot.
every movie.
Every
Yeah.
movie in there is worth its own like just 10-minute segment.
It's cool because we did mostly the two that we didn't like as much from Phase 3.
Right.
So the next episode will just be all positive content.
Yeah, it's just all
about how much
positive
we love
content.
Phase 3.
Phase 3 is just perfect.
It's fantastic.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Even the bad movies, I think, are better than the bad movies of the previous phases.
Right.
Right. And if you're sitting in your chair at home thinking, well, what about Phase 4? Well,
We already did that.
We already did
go
Phase
back a
4.
couple weeks. We
Yeah.
talked about it.
And-
Yeah.
Catch up.
We're bad with timelines.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
We don't
we're
have a
great.
good
Timeline.
multiverse.
Oh.
So
But
yeah.
speaking of timelines, join us next week as we dive into Phase 3.
if you enjoyed that episode, make sure to join us here every Thursday on YouTube and Spotify as we drop new episodes of that good shit.
And don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok for some solid filler content to get you through the week at Not Mike, Not Pat. You should be watching.